Napoleon Bonaparte was one of the most iconic and fascinating figures in world history. He was born on the island of Corsica in 1769, and his military campaigns would go on to shape the political landscape of Europe for decades to come. Here are 30 of the most interesting facts about Napoleon Bonaparte that help to illuminate his remarkable life. 1. Napoleon had a difficult childhood, marked by poverty and conflict. His father died when he was young, and he was sent to France to receive an education. However, he struggled to fit in and was often teased by his classmates for his Corsican accent and his lack of French. 2. At the age of 9, Napoleon was sent to a military school in France, where he excelled in his studies. He was particularly interested in mathematics and history. He also learned to speak fluent French, which would serve him well in his later career. 3. He graduated from the school at the age of 16, and joined the French army as a second lieutenant. He was initially stationed in Valence, but was soon transferred to an artillery regiment in Corsica. He also spent time in Paris, where he became acquainted with many of the leading politicians and intellectuals of the day. 4. During the French Revolution, Napoleon rose to prominence as a military leader. He played a key role in the French victory at the Battle of Toulon in 1793, and was subsequently promoted to brigadier general. He also played a leading role in the Italian campaign of 1796–97, which saw the French conquer much of northern Italy. 5. In 1799, Napoleon was appointed first consul of France, effectively making him the leader of the country. He quickly consolidated his power, and introduced a number of reforms aimed at strengthening the French state. 6. In 1804, Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of France, a move that would have a profound impact on European history. He saw himself as a modern-day Caesar, and his empire would go on to rival that of the Roman Empire in its size and influence. 7. He was a military genius, and won a series of stunning victories against his enemies. One of his most famous victories was the Battle of Austerlitz in 1805, which saw the French army defeat a combined force of Austrians and Russians. The battle is still studied by military strategists today, and is regarded as one of the greatest military victories of all time. 8. Napoleon was also an accomplished statesman, and he introduced a number of sweeping reforms in France. Perhaps his most lasting legacy was the Napoleonic Code, a comprehensive legal system that is still the basis of French law today. He also introduced a number of other reforms aimed at improving the economy, education, and public works. 9. He was a great admirer of Julius Caesar, and saw himself as a modern-day Caesar, destined to conquer and rule the world. He was also influenced by the Enlightenment, and saw himself as a champion of reason and progress. 10. Napoleon was an incredibly hard worker, and would often work 18 hours a day, surviving on just a few hours of sleep. He was also a great delegator, and was able to inspire his subordinates to achieve great things. 11. He was also a very short man, standing at just 5 feet 6 inches tall, which led to the nickname the Petit Caporal or the Little Corporal. However, he was also very fit and athletic, and was renowned for his physical endurance. 12. Despite his small stature, Napoleon was a formidable presence, with piercing blue eyes and a commanding voice. 13. Despite his small stature, Napoleon was a formidable presence, with piercing blue eyes and a commanding voice. He was also very charismatic. 14. Napoleon was married twice. His first wife was Joséphine de Beauharnais, who he married in 1796. The marriage was a passionate one, but was also marked by infidelity on both sides. They divorced in 1809, and Napoleon went on to marry Marie-Louise of Austria in 1810. They had one son together, who Napoleon named the King of Rome. 15. Napoleon had a complex relationship with the Catholic Church. While he initially saw himself as a supporter of the Church, he gradually became more skeptical of its power and influence. He even went so far as to capture Pope Pius VII in 1809, and held him captive for several years. 16. He was a prolific writer, and penned numerous letters, speeches, and memoirs. He was also an avid reader, and had a personal library of over 7,000 books. 17. Napoleon was a lover of the arts, and he commissioned many great works during his reign. He was particularly interested in architecture and commissioned a number of grand buildings, including the Arc de Triomphe and the Vendôme column in Paris. 18. He was also a patron of the sciences and established the Institut de France, which was dedicated to promoting scientific research and education. He also supported the work of many great scientists of the day, including Antoine Lavoisier and Pierre-Simon Laplace. 19. Napoleon was a man of many contradictions. While he was a champion of reason and progress, he was also a tyrant who was willing to use violence and repression to achieve his goals. He was also a lover of peace, but was willing to go to war to protect France's interests. 20. Despite his many military victories, Napoleon suffered a number of significant defeats. Perhaps the most famous of these was the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, which saw the combined forces of Britain, Prussia, and the Netherlands defeat the French army. Napoleon was subsequently exiled to the island of St. Helena, where he spent the last years of his life in exile. 21. Despite his exile, Napoleon remained a powerful and influential figure. He continued to write and correspond with his supporters, and his ideas continued to shape European politics for many years after his death. 22. Napoleon's legacy is a complicated one. While he is often remembered as a brilliant military strategist and a champion of progress, he is also remembered as a ruthless tyrant who was willing to sacrifice countless lives in pursuit of his ambitions. 23. Napoleon was a master of propaganda, and he used the press to shape public opinion and promote his own image. He also commissioned numerous portraits and statues of himself, which were distributed throughout France and beyond. 24. Napoleon's influence extended far beyond France. His ideas and methods had a profound impact on the course of European history and helped to shape the modern world. 25. He was also a master of logistics and was able to mobilize and supply large armies in a way that had never been seen before. His innovations in military logistics continue to be studied by military strategists today. 26. Napoleon was a great lover of animals and kept a number of pets throughout his life, including dogs, cats, and horses. He was particularly fond of his horse, Marengo, who he rode during many of his campaigns. 27. Napoleon was a great admirer of the United States and saw it as a model for a modern, democratic society. He even went so far as to offer to sell Louisiana to the US in 1803, a move that helped to double the size of the country. 28. Napoleon was a great patron of education and established a number of schools and universities throughout France. He saw education as a key tool for promoting progress and enlightenment. 29. Napoleon was a man of great ambition, and he saw himself as a world leader. He dreamed of establishing a global empire, and he launched a number of campaigns in Europe, Africa, and the Middle East in pursuit of this goal. 30. Despite his many flaws, Napoleon was a man of great courage and determination. He faced numerous challenges throughout his life, and he always rose to meet them with strength and resilience. His legacy continues to inspire people around the world to this day. In conclusion, Napoleon Bonaparte was a complex and fascinating figure in world history. He was a brilliant military strategist, a champion of progress, and a master of propaganda. He established a powerful empire that had a profound impact on the course of European history, and his legacy continues to be felt today. However, he was also a ruthless tyrant who was willing to use violence and repression to achieve his goals. Despite his flaws, Napoleon remains a fascinating and inspiring figure, and his story is one that continues to captivate people around the world. Thanks for watching us.